NFL bombshell. Did the Buffalo Bills just lose 4 players at once? And what does this shocking wave of departures really mean for the team's future in the National Football League? Fans woke up expecting normal off-season updates, but instead they're hearing that 4 Bills are reportedly saying goodbye, sending shockwaves through Buffalo and across the league. Some believe it's part of a smart roster reset, while others fear it could seriously impact the team's momentum heading into the next season. But the real surprise? The names involved might be the last ones fans expected. Stay with us as we reveal exactly who's leaving and why this changes everything. The world of the National Football League never sleeps, and today the spotlight is burning bright on one team that has captured the attention of fans across America. Yes, we're talking about the Buffalo Bills, and what we're hearing right now is nothing short of a bombshell. Bills Mafia woke up today to shocking whispers circulating around the league. 4 familiar names connected to Buffalo could be saying goodbye, and if these reports turn out to be true, this could mark one of the most emotional transitions the franchise has seen in recent years. For a team that has been chasing a championship dream behind superstar quarterback Josh Allen, the idea that multiple key figures might be leaving at once is enough to send shockwaves through the entire fan base. Now, before we dive into the names, let's set the scene. The Buffalo Bills have spent the last few seasons building what many believed was a Super Bowl-ready roster. The front office, coaching staff, and players have all pushed toward the same goal, bringing the Lombardi Trophy to Buffalo. But the NFL is a brutal business. Contracts expire, salary caps tighten, and sometimes even beloved players must move on. And that's exactly the kind of moment Bills fans might be facing right now. Let's start with the first name that has fans talking everywhere: veteran safety Micah Hyde. Hyde has been one of the emotional leaders of the Bills' defense for years. His intelligence on the field, his ability to read quarterbacks, and his leadership in the locker room helped turn Buffalo's secondary into one of the most respected units in the league.
Showing signs that Hyde's time in Buffalo may be coming to an end. Some insiders believe retirement could be on the table, while others think he might explore one last opportunity with another contender. Either way, if Hyde truly steps away from the Bills, it will mark the end of an era for the defense. But that's just the beginning of this developing story. Another massive name being discussed is veteran safety Jordan Poyer. For years, Poyer and Hyde formed one of the most feared safety duos in the NFL. Together they created a defensive backbone that helped Buffalo dominate opposing offenses. Poyer's physical style of play, combined with his ability to force turnovers, made him a fan favorite. However, with contract negotiations and roster changes constantly shaping the future, many analysts believe the Bills may be preparing for a younger defensive core. If Poyer indeed moves on, Bills Mafia will be losing not just a player, but a leader who embodied the team's gritty identity. Now here's where things get even more interesting. The third name potentially saying goodbye is wide receiver Gabe Davis. Fans remember Davis for his explosive performances, especially in big moments. His connection with Josh Allen has produced some unforgettable plays, including deep touchdowns that electrified the stadium. Davis has always been that big play threat who could change the momentum of a game in seconds. But the reality of the NFL is that wide receiver rooms evolve quickly. Teams constantly search for new speed, new route runners, and new weapons. Reports suggest that Davis could be heading toward free agency opportunities that might offer him a larger role or a bigger contract. If that happens, the Bills' offense will need to find someone capable of filling that deep threat role. And finally, the fourth name rumored to be leaving might be one of the most underrated players on the roster, center Mitch Morse. Offensive linemen rarely receive the spotlight they deserve, but Morse has been a critical piece of Buffalo's offensive stability. Protecting Josh Allen and managing the line of scrimmage responsibilities is no easy task, and Morse has done it with professionalism and toughness. However, with teams constantly adjusting their salary cap situations, veteran offensive linemen sometimes become difficult to retain. If Morse departs, Buffalo could be facing a major shift in how their offensive line is structured moving forward. Now imagine this scenario for a moment. 4 respected names potentially leaving the same team within a short period. That's not just roster change. That's a locker room transformation. And for the Buffalo Bills, a team that has built its identity on chemistry and continuity, this could be a defining turning point. But here's the big question everyone is asking: is this the beginning of a rebuild, or simply a strategic reset? Many analysts believe the Bills are not rebuilding at all. Instead, they may be preparing for the next phase of their championship push. The NFL moves fast, and successful franchises constantly evolve. Younger players step up. New talent arrives through the draft or free agency. And sometimes, letting veteran players go is part of keeping the team competitive long term. For Josh Allen, this moment could be especially significant. As the face of the franchise, Allen has grown into one of the most exciting quarterbacks in football. His leadership will now become even more important if these roster changes truly happen. Losing experienced teammates can be challenging, but it can also open the door for new stars to emerge. And let's not forget the power of Bills Mafia. Buffalo fans are among the most passionate supporters in all of sports. Through snowstorms, heartbreaking playoff losses, and thrilling victories, they stand by their team like family. If these 4 players truly say goodbye, the fans will remember them not just for their stats, but for the moments they gave the city. Think about the big interceptions, the deep touchdown passes, the critical blocks protecting the quarterback. These are the memories that live forever in Buffalo football history. At the same time, the front office is undoubtedly planning ahead. Draft prospects, potential trades, and free agency targets are likely already being evaluated behind closed doors. The Bills know that the window to compete for a Super Bowl with Josh Allen is wide open, and every decision they make will be focused on maximizing that opportunity. Still, the emotional side of this story cannot be ignored. When players who have been part of the team's identity for years move on, it leaves a lasting impact. Teammates must adjust. Fans must say goodbye. And the organization begins writing a new chapter. So as the rumors continue to swirl around the Buffalo Bills, one thing is certain: the coming weeks could shape the future of this franchise in a major way. Whether these departures become official or not, the conversation alone shows how quickly things can change in the NFL. For now, Bills fans everywhere are watching closely, waiting for confirmations, announcements, and perhaps even surprises that nobody sees coming. Because if there's one thing we've learned about the NFL, it's this: the next bombshell is always just around the corner. And if these 4 names truly are preparing to say goodbye, Buffalo will remember them not just as players, but as warriors who helped bring the team back into the national spotlight. The question now is simple, but powerful. What happens next for the Buffalo Bills? One thing is guaranteed: Bills Mafia will be watching every move.